Alrighty, welcome back to Weenie Trades. So in this video, I'm going to be giving a Bitcoin analysis, a SPY analysis, and then just talking about my biggest winner and biggest loser trading today. It was a crazy Whipsaw Wednesday, so let's get right into it. Bitcoin. If you saw the live stream a little bit earlier, like maybe last week, I was saying Bitcoin to 40K, Bitcoin to 35K. People are asking me about Bitcoin when we were consolidating in this upper range. I was like, oh no, Bitcoin might look a little bit bearish. There's a lot of upper wicks at that 59K level, and that 59K level, as you can see, just lots of upper wicks, and eventually we're making higher lows in the flat top resistance, but we started to break Bitcoin once we started to break about 55K. And that's when the volume really started to come in and Bitcoin started to break some supports. People are asking me if this was a double bottom. I said maybe, but we're expecting a lower high. There's your lower high. And Bitcoin did the lower low all the way to, I was saying, Bitcoin 30K, Bitcoin 33K. Boom, this whole bottom zone. Do you see that? We had a little bit of a resistance. We broke out, back tested as support, support, support. We break out. So now it's going to be support if we're extended into that level. And it was. Bitcoin rallied a good, 29% off that low if you're able to grab it. There's a lot going on. I wasn't able to grab it fully, but I'm thinking there may be a better chance to get in Bitcoin, potentially down at these lower levels, this lower box. So as you can see over here, this little bull flag right here was a really pivotal bull flag that set Bitcoin on its run. So I'm going to be watching to see if Bitcoin sells off and has one more leg down. That's why I really want to grab some Bitcoin at that 23K level, 25, 23K level, risking off of about the 20K level because Bitcoin can be really volatile and it could be very bearish if it starts to break 20K. Now that's still quite a ways away. That would be a Bitcoin cut in half yet again, but it's something to keep an eye out for. In terms of the short term though, we might actually continue to rally. We're still rejecting off of that 40,000 level, but if we start to, break this little congestion to the upside, you can draw a little pinch. If we start to break this to the upside, then Bitcoin can maybe test something like 42K, 43K, and then maybe as high as like 44 or 45K if it continues that rally. And that would just be some more resistance where Bitcoin would need to pull back and probably put in a higher low of some sort. So short term could rally if it gets above 40K. But otherwise, it might just go sideways for a little bit, and then it might make another leg down if there's a lot more fear and panic. So keeping an eye on Bitcoin, it correlates a lot with the crypto market and the stock market. It brings them both together. Next up, we've got the SPY, and the SPY was really whippy today. As you can see, tons of crazy gaps. It was even a little bit choppy over here in this range, and we broke out, false breakout, we break down. That side was resistance. We were talking about watching out for that resistance earlier in the week, and SPY sold off from that level. So far, it's a double bottom, but because double bottoms usually lead into a lower high and then a lower low, unless we can get above and make a higher high and break out to the upside. So SPY, a little bit of a weird day. We gapped down massively today, and then we ripped higher. So as a gap into a demand zone, this prior demand zone congestion over here. So there's definitely some buyers there, but it went a little bit higher than I thought it would. So SPY, again, same with Bitcoin, could see a little bit of a rally, potentially up to that 412 area, 413. Maybe at the highest. That was the previous breakdown area, 413. So if SPY is bullish, look for those areas to be resistance next. Otherwise, if SPY starts to break, 408, that's kind of the line in the sand that I'd say SPY might be looking to make a lower low. And then we'd be looking at something like, 399 in that scenario. And we'll reevaluate it live. But SPY not looking the most bullish. Even though we got a good bounce off of that demand zone, we're still looking for a potential lower high. And then if SPY wanted to continue the bounce, maybe we put in a higher low and continue higher. So tons of scenarios for SPY. We can go straight up from this level from 410. We can sell off from 408, or we can do a little bit of both and get some trend changes, or we can do a lower high and lower low. So those are kind of the scenarios in my mind for the SPY moving forward. Target reported amazing earnings, which isn't really too much as a surprise, but it is a little bit of a surprise that it's actually rallying and going up. Most of the time lately, stocks have been selling off on good news, but Target, nice, good, steady uptrend. I know I shop quite a bit at Target, so I wouldn't be surprised that they're, killing it on their earnings call. But Target, first thing in the morning, really nice move. You know, first thing in the morning, I'm like, I like Target. I'm going long at about 211 with a stop loss just underneath 209.70. So I'm buying right here and then risking off of these wicks, stop loss. Boom, I'm able to get some off at 214 and 215. And then we did a nice good little bull flag over here, and I was able to catch another good rocket ride on Target, you know, going long at about 215 and then taking profits off at about 218. So really nice move. So buying right there, taking profits up there. But later in the day, I gave back a little bit on Target on a false breakout. So I like to draw the most frequently hit resistance, and that's this 218 level, 218, 218. And we just keep, we finally break through 218 on decent volume. I was looking at the volume bar right here. Boom, I go ahead and buy Target right there, looking for an extension through the high of the day through at least about 219. And then boom, Target started to, you know, double top and then false breakout. Boom, stopped out of Target. Net though, Target was a really good revenue trade, $300, good stuff. Really thankful. Target, look for it to continue as it keeps getting upgraded and doing very well. So Target is my #1 candidate to go bullish on if the SPY is to continue bullish. Lastly, my biggest expense trade of the day was on Tesla. And Tesla, I was trying to go short, but it was the same as the SPY, gap down and then a rip up. Just a choppy pattern all day on Tesla. Earlier right here, I shorted Tesla right underneath 553. And I put a stop loss right above 555. I was really tempted to not take the stop loss because we rolled over and I was like, oh boy, we might be breaking the higher low trend and we might see lower lows on Tesla. That's what I'm looking for if there's extreme fear in the SPY and the rest of the market. However, since it was a choppy mean reversion type of day, Tesla's did a jab, you know, it broke support and then ripped immediately up and boom, took the stop loss. I took some pretty heavy size on Tesla. Unfortunately, it had to be a, you know, minus $500 trade on that one because those volatile puts are pretty nasty, you know, sizing up on those. But had I not taken my stop loss, I would have been down at least minus $2,000 because Tesla was really ripping after that move. So it's kind of one of those things where I would have loved to have a wider stop or just bear through it and hold through it, but I'm glad that I didn't because all it takes, you know, I had the chance to take some profits. That's not going to be profitable for me in the long run. I'm risking about $500 to make about $2,000 to $3,000 if Tesla starts to really roll over and touch that 540 target that I had today. But it just happened to not do that. You know, I can't get mad at the market. The market just is what it is. And I stepped up to bat and, you know, I striked out. That's all that matters. So, you know, would I take it again? Yeah, I'd take it again 8 out of 10 times. But the market environment, if it's a mean reversion market, you know, the dips are going to get bought. The rallies are going to get sold. Just back and forth, chop, chop, chop. Kind of like an indecisive doji type of day. But I'm really happy that I saved myself over $2,000 by stopping out. Yes, it sucks to take that short-term hit, but it keeps me alive in the long run so I can really capture some good winners into the future. All it takes is one time where you skip your stop loss. Like if I would have skipped my stop loss, boom, I'm now down 2K, and then I'd be emotional about it. But risk management is our #1 job. I don't want to put my account in a place where it's too uncomfortable to get out of. So small choppy little red day, you know, minus $274 if we count the target trade and stuff. But yeah, interesting stuff. I think it's a great time to take a little bit of a break from the market potentially because the market's just chopping back and forth. You know, look at the SPY intraday time frame, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There's no advantage to the long side or the short side so much right now. It's kind of in that a questionable, indecisive moment. And so because of that, you generally want to be in cash or very light positions when that happens. So I'm going to be looking to, you know, slow down a little bit. I'm going to be taking a vacation in June for about 2 to 3 weeks, and I'll probably still be streaming at least the first hour of the day. That should be the goal right now. The first hour of the day is where all the action is, and the rest of the day is just chop, fake outs, you know, mess with your head, and just, you know, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Although, as long as you can look at the higher time frame, the higher the time frame you have, the more clarity there is. But yeah, you got to decipher what's noise and what's not. So hopefully you enjoyed this Bitcoin SPY analysis, my trade recap, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.